Thank you for joining me for part 2 of 3 of this Sunday series on anxiety. If you missed part 1, I encourage you to check it out, but here's a quick recap. We learned anxiety is stress that comes from uncertainty. We also learned confidence is key to managing it. Anxiety is all about control, but understanding we have very limited control will help us transition our thought process from control to influence. And finally, we talked about self-awareness and how knowing yourself will allow you to respond accordingly. So let's pick things up from there. The way we respond to things that happen to us in life will drive emotion. And though we cannot control what happens to us, we have complete control over our responses. In the last sermon, I mentioned Hebrews 11:1 confirms self-confidence comes from faith, and faith creates optimism. Being optimistic doesn't mean we have to also be naive. We understand that this world has both good and evil in it. To be optimistic means to be hopeful and confident about the future, which is everything that we've been talking about. Optimism defeats anxiety. Though the Bible doesn't mention optimism, it has a lot to say about hope and confidence. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." In the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, God says, "Remember, I have commanded you to be determined and confident. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for I, the Lord your God, am with you wherever you go." But I get it. To some, these are just words on a page, and maybe you're struggling with application. But before we talk about application, we should discuss anticipation. If you know yourself well enough, you should be able to anticipate your emotions. And if you can anticipate your emotions, then going into situations that are potentially stressful should not be as stressful due to your preconceived mindset. But be careful. We must not always come into every situation with the same mentality. It's not enough to just know ourselves. We should also know others and their default behaviors. We achieve this by observing people and reflecting on our own previous actions. Default behaviors are things we do without conscious thought. Some of these behaviors are just fine, but others need to change in order to manage anxiety. Change is constant in the world around us, so change should be constant in our own behavior as well. None of us are perfect, so we should continuously change the imperfections in our lives and strive for perfection with the realization perfection is unobtainable but desirable. Later this year, Apple will bring out the 17th iteration of their iPhone. And there's not a single person that I know that uses the original iPhone anymore because it's obsolete. It's not supported. It just doesn't work. As a society, we are quick to ditch old technology, but we are extremely hesitant or even stubborn when it comes to changing ourselves internally. Change isn't optional, it's necessary. The longer we put it off, the further behind we'll be. Instead of fighting change, we should embrace it. Change should not create anxiety. It should be used as a tool to conquer it. If your default behaviors create anxiety, change them. If your default reactions cause drama, change them. Remember, you only have complete control over two things: your actions, which include your behavior, and your responses. I'm not standing before you claiming that change is easy, because it's not. It's hard and it's uncomfortable. But life isn't about comfort. You were born into this world from a confined space, and when you die, you will go into another. The time in between is not about being comfortable in the space around us. It's about impacting the space around us and leaving it better for those who follow us. Change starts in the mind. In the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, it says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and the perfect will of God." This verse is twofold. It means we shouldn't follow the default behaviors of this world, but change our minds to God's standards of good, which are perfect. Now, we've established that we can't be perfect, but we can strive to be. We can strive to be good, and when we aren't, we can renew our mind and try again. There's a quote from Mother Teresa that I'm very fond of. She said, "Saints are only sinners who keep trying." Nelson Mandela reiterated this when he was called a saint. He said, "I am not a saint unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps trying." I hope you enjoyed part 2 of our Sunday series, and I hope you'll join me for our conclusion next Sunday. Until then, God bless.